can't say that I'm stoked about it, but I'm also not surprised. Gotta take this off because I'm gonna get the stress sweats about this one. As it turns out, Rawvana has decided to give up veganism, citing small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, issues. SIBO happens when bacteria from the colon are able to get into the small intestine where they don't belong. Rawvana has seen a gastroenterologist about this. He recommended that she take antibiotics so that she can get rid of the SIBO, the bacterial overgrowth in her small intestine, and she said that she didn't want to do that because it wasn't natural. What she would prefer to do is switch to a diet that includes animal products, and since animal products are fiber-free, theoretically there's less fiber available for those bacteria that have infested her small intestine to feed on, so there will be less production of gas and bacterial growth and such. So certainly including animal products in the diet is one way to mask the symptoms of SIBO, but it's not necessarily addressing the problem. But the ways that we develop SIBO are already quite well known. There are some primary risk factors for developing it, and unfortunately, Rawvana has actively participated in many of those risk factors. So, Mike the Vegan did a great video going over some of those reasons. He cited the long-term water fasts that Rawvana participated in. She did a 25-day water fast with Dr. Doug Graham down in Costa Rica, which is a fasting program that has had problems in the past with bacterial infections. And unless someone is on death's door with cancer or diabetes or high blood pressure, I would never recommend a fast of more than 3 to 5 days. I don't like the idea of fasting at all because I have a history of eating disorders, and many people with histories of eating disorders, like Rawvana, seem to gravitate towards water fasting because it's like anorexia for health. But specifically in terms of gut health, when you're on an extended fast, there are still bacteria in your gut, and they don't have anything to eat. And so a lot of species of those bacteria will actually, turn and start consuming the protective layer of our intestines. That protective mucoid layer is full of sugars and proteins, and it's some of the favorite food of bacteria when we're not eating any fiber. And so simply that can cause a huge amount of irritation and inflammation for the gut. And it's why fasting isn't something that we need to be doing unless we're on death's door. Until the potential benefit outweighs the potential risk of a serious gut infection or serious gut inflammation, water fasting shouldn't happen. Mike did a great job of mentioning that when you're water fasting, you can actually start to have peristaltic contractions that go the wrong direction, and that could actually move contents of the colon into the small intestine. The other issue that Mike the Vegan addressed that could directly lead to SIBO is the consumption of alkaline water. So Rawvana's husband apparently owns an alkaline water bottle company, and the alkaline water trend is not about health, you guys. It's about making money. Because when you drink alkaline water, it goes into your stomach, and your stomach is a very acidic environment. It needs to be very acidic because when we eat food, oftentimes we're eating a massive amount of bacteria, and the vast majority of that bacteria needs to die in the acidic stomach. So if we're drinking alkaline water, or, some people take baking soda, and it just blows my mind. Don't alkalize your stomach. Well, then we're getting a little washed out. When your stomach is not acidic enough, bacteria don't die like they're supposed to, and the next stop after your stomach is the small intestine. So for the love of God, stop trying to alkalize yourself unnaturally. Which brings us to the next very unnatural act that Rawvana was regularly taking part in that has likely directly caused the SIBO infection that she's dealing with. This obsession with colon cleansing. Y'all, our colons are dirty places. They're supposed to be. It's where poop is made. There is so much bacteria inside them, and that is exactly how it should be. If we're eating a whole plant food diet that's based on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds, we're getting tons of fiber, and that fiber is able to move through the digestive system and take the toxicity, the extra cholesterol, the extra hormones with it out of us. And so beyond just eating like a pretty decent diet, we do not need to be colon cleansing. So the two things that I've seen evidence of Rawvana doing just in the few videos of hers that I've watched is her use of laxatives, all natural laxatives. I saw one video where she recommended her followers eat an entire leaf of fresh aloe vera after a holiday meal so that they could cleanse themselves of the holiday meal. And fresh aloe vera is like a potent laxative. Like, you are going to be on the toilet explosively pooping for a while. And that is laxative abuse. That is a stressful situation for the colon, again, leading to plenty of inflammation and irritation, and it just doesn't need to happen. The other thing, I searched YouTube and looked up Rawvana colon cleansing, and I saw multiple videos of hers where she talked about colon hydrotherapy or colonics. And if you're not familiar with colonics, congratulations. But what it is they pump water into your colon and then suck it out, and then pump water into your colon and suck it out, pump it in, suck it out. And so what you end up getting is a backwash of colon contents into the area of the ileocecal valve, which is the valve that separates your colon from your small intestine. It's a one-way valve. It's meant to be, at least. But when you're backwashing water onto it, like, the thing opens, water and contents from your colon, including a huge, staggering amount of bacteria, is going to get washed into the small intestine. Colon cleansing, it's dangerous. It doesn't need to happen. There's no reason for it to happen, especially for people who are relatively healthy and capable of eating diets that have fiber in it, because we don't need to cleanse our colons. In fact, one of the best therapies that modern medicine has for helping people who are having severe colon and gut issues is taking someone else's poop and blending it up and then forcing it up someone's rectum several times a week for weeks or months on end. It's called a fecal transplant, and it works because the gut is meant to be a filthy place. So, like, when I hear that Rawvana developed SIBO, I'm not surprised. Oh, I'm getting washed out again. I feel like I would actually be concerned if she hadn't developed SIBO, because life wouldn't make sense anymore. There are consequences to our actions. There are consequences to obsessions with trying to be cleansed. There are consequences to doing extremely unnatural things like forcing pressurized water up your ass. But she doesn't want to take antibiotics. And so there is a part of me that is extremely frustrated with the frankly stupid decisions that someone has made that has led them to a health crisis. But there's also a part of me that has a huge amount of compassion for someone who likely has unresolved issues with disordered eating. I was stuck in an eating disorder for about 10 years. Like, I know what it feels like, and I know how hard it is to come out of it. I know how easy it is for those thoughts of wanting to be small and wanting to be pure. I know how easy it is for those thoughts to infect everything that you do, even the things that you're trying to do with the best of intentions, like a vegan diet. It is something that, for a time, takes a lot of vigilance to think about and to consider, why am I eating this way? Why am I eating this number of calories? Why am I so drawn to the idea of perfectionism and being perceived as perfect? Why am I so obsessed with cleaning out my insides? Like, what is it that we think is inside of us that is so damn dirty all the time? And I have compassion because the medical profession, modern medicine, they don't have a lot of options for certain health conditions that are truly without risk and have a great track record of genuinely healing people. You know, just taking antibiotics for SIBO, that's not a guaranteed cure. Modern medicine does not acknowledge the narrative that we need to be cleansing all the time. And so if this is something that you are hearing from people who are online health gurus, people who call themselves doctors and they're not, if you're watching other people on YouTube who are also claiming to do the same practices and claiming that it makes them feel good, then what are you supposed to think? You know, you're just a YouTuber with 2 million followers. You're not a health professional. You don't know. Being a YouTuber as well, it is crystal clear to me what sells and what attracts viewers. Look at the biggest channels. What is it? It's a skinny girl who is the closest thing to perfect that you could imagine. Perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect lighting, perfect meal prep, perfect meal plan, perfectly capable of restricting herself to eating a small amount of food. That is wildly popular because it's a fantasy that so many of us want. I want to be perfect. I want to be acceptable and admired and all of those warm, fuzzy, ooey gooey things. I get it. But as a YouTuber, there also needs to be a certain amount of accountability. And I think it's incredibly important, if you have a moral compass and any sense of integrity, to reflect on the ways that our projections influence the precious, innocent people who follow us and the way that they are able to take care of their own health. So on that note, I'm gonna go eat some pie that my husband made.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh. Wow. Are you so proud of yourself?
A little bit.
Oh my god, that's really good. That looks nice. This beautiful cobbler is frozen peaches, and usually we'd use frozen cherries too, but all they had were canned cherries at Target this morning, so damn. This is so ooey gooey and good. And pretty much all whole plant foods, so you can't complain. Just when you thought it was safe to go back on YouTube. Obviously, this was gonna happen today. And hey, at least the day's not over. We still have decent lighting, so we can talk about it. Vegan YouTube just lost another one. Elise from Raw Alignment has announced, unsurprisingly, that she is giving up veganism. This was one of the cute blonde YouTuber predictions that I made back when Moon and Rock decided to give up veganism because, you know, I'd been watching every now and then when I could like muster the strength, watching the What I Eat in a Day videos that Elise was putting out, watching those videos and slowly being like, if I was eating this way, it would be because I had an eating disorder. Just a remarkably small amount of very calorie light foods. I feel like there needs to be a new term developed, which is like biohacked anorexia or something like that, because the things that have been coming out of the biohacking, keto, intermittent fasting communities would have been, up until this point in history, accurately identified as eating disorder-like behavior. So again, we have a case of someone starting out on a raw vegan diet, very restrictive, like fruit-based. From what I could tell from seeing her What I Eat in a Day videos, virtually no omega-3 precursor fats. Her diet got progressively higher in omega-6 rich fats like tahini. And so when I heard her say in her video about why she's not vegan anymore when she was referencing omega-3 fats, I was like, well, no duh. And it's so frustrating, and perhaps I'm being an asshole right now, because this is such an easy fix, especially when you're someone who could easily get sponsored by a vegan supplement company, and as someone who clearly has no scruples about advertising whoever reaches out to your channel. You could have gotten a DHA EPA algae-based supplement. I've been taking one for about 2 years, and it's not like I was feeling bad. I didn't feel like I really needed it, and I was doing such a good job getting my precursor fatty acids, the ALA, from things like flax seeds or hemp seeds, mostly flax seeds. But I was like, maybe it could be an issue, so just better safe than sorry, I'll get a supplement. And as far as supplementing goes, Elise used to live on the island. We had mutual acquaintances, and one of those acquaintances told me that, like, she's not supplementing with B12. She literally just got the first B12 supplement she's ever taken, and this was, I guess, maybe late 2017, early 2018, and it's just so irresponsible and so easily avoidable and so confusing, because clearly she's not against things that can be sold as supplements. So I just do not understand how this is. In the Why I'm No Longer Vegan video, she says that she got tested and she was deficient in all the nutrients. Like, I don't know what kind of test is capable of testing levels of all the nutrients in your body, but whatevs. But she said, like, basically I was deficient in everything. And, like, no shit, you're not eating. She indicates in that video that she had done, like, juicing and water fasting as well. And I hope to hell that everyone who's watching this sees a very distinct pattern. Restrictive diet, fasting, gross calorie restriction, unbalanced nutrient intake, then getting into the biohacking stuff, then switching to high-fat diets, and then finally they're going back to animal products. But the interesting thing about this situation especially is that, you know, she's talked about some health struggles as far as, you know, the mold illness and toxicity, which is, God, a subject all on its own. It's like mold toxicity symptoms, also really similar to a lot of nutrient deficiency symptoms and chronic calorie restrictions. So, gosh, I don't know. But in between these videos that are like, oh, I'm having such a hard time with my health, she's selling ebooks. And it's the same thing with Rawvana. Selling meal plans, doing meal prep videos, doing what I eat in a day videos, slinging mushroom elixirs and other biohacking things, taking the CBD oil and saying, oh gosh, I haven't been feeling well for so long. Until now, and oh gosh, this is just so amazing. It's really increasing the vibrancy of my health. And then we get to the point where the I'm no longer vegan video comes out and they say, oh, I've just been getting progressively worse and worse for years. I've been suffering. Well, really? As if I'd known that, maybe I wouldn't have used your coupon code for 4 Sigmatic. Or forced myself to stick to the sprouts, tahini, and zucchini noodle diet that you've been promoting for the last 2 years. And this is certainly another case when I feel compassion for going through eating disorder related behaviors. Like I said earlier with Rawvana, I know how insidious those patterns are. They can infect everything you do in your life. And you have to be aware of it, and you have to put some limits on yourself. Like, no, you know what? I'm not gonna let myself do intermittent fasting because it's too much like the anorexia and the bulimia cycle that I used to go through. It's just too much. You have to have some kind of accountability with yourself if you're going to truly recover from the eating disorder mindset. But I don't see the accountability there. And then what really gets me is at the beginning of Elise's video, she started it off by saying, over the last 6 months, I've been allowing other people's opinions about how I should make videos affect how I'm making videos. They were saying I shouldn't just put out videos of whatever I'm doing. I should actually have an understanding of what I'm doing first. And so I've been doing that, but it hasn't been authentic for me. And I'm like, really? I know that you look at your YouTube analytics, and I know that you know that your primary demographic are girls from like 12 to 24. We're talking about young, impressionable girls who do not know better than to listen to you and to emulate you and to do what you're doing to try to achieve the same body shape or hairstyle or skin condition that you have. I know that you know that, but having accountability for the impact that you have on young developing girls is what? Too much of a drag for you to be able to like authentically what? Sell people stuff? I am so grossed out by this. And to be perfectly honest, with channels like Rawvana and Elise, I have been grossed out for a long time. Like, it just feels icky. The product placements and the fake veneer of perfection, or this lifestyle that no one actually leads. It feels gross, and it is so unfair. It is so unfair to everyone who's watching. Like, my heart hurts when I think about the demographics of girls who are watching these videos and who just desperately want something. And a lot of these girls, YouTubers are big in their lives. I grew up with YouTubers being big in my life. Oftentimes it felt like the only source of a connection to someone who you know, like, got me. And it makes me sick to my stomach when I see the diet plans that are recommended to these kids and the products that are hawked on them, acting like, oh, this is the key to good health. This is the key to achieving the life of your dreams. Oh my God. And the person that's telling them is like an 18, 20, 22-year-old child who is clearly wrapped up in their own eating disorder stuff too. I have compassion for Rawvana, for Elise, for experiencing health problems. That is hard. I have so much compassion for people who are going through health struggles or eating disorder recovery. It is so gutting. Like, it's so hard to figure it out. And I am so sorry that they have been going through this, but they have dragged along millions of followers with them, and these are, more often than I am comfortable with, people who do not possess the capability to identify patterns of eating disorders or to identify marketing that is designed to take advantage of their insecurities about their health or their appearance or whatever. And so while I have compassion for what they're going through, I have zero patience for the bullshit. Zero patience for the lack of accountability and just absolute irresponsibility that has been shown. I've been watching this happen over the years, and surely there was a culture on YouTube, which, yes, I was part of, and I deeply regret it, that was unkind, needlessly dramatic, and tore apart the vegan community. That could have been done better. I hope that we're able to figure out how to do that better. But at the same time, channels like Bonnie Rebecca's, like Rawvana's, like Elise's, have been existing. And I've been sitting back saying, okay, they're saying that they're thriving, so maybe they're thriving. I hope that they're thriving because they have these big followings and they're so influential. I hope that they're thriving. I hope that that works. I'm looking at it and I'm worried. I try to make videos that very much talk about the importance of nourishment and eating enough and taking good care of yourself and being really realistic and avoiding the supplements and the biohacking and the fasting and the bullshit that you do not need to be healthy. And in fact, as we've seen, these are impediments to health. And these women have now profited off of promoting impediments to health. And I don't know, perhaps I was irresponsible for not saying something directly about it because I wanted to avoid any kind of drama or accusations of finger pointing or trying to drag other people down, or you know, the fact that I'm jealous. Like, yeah, maybe all of those things. Like, maybe I'm sure that there are shreds of me that are like, oh, I wish I could be as popular as Elise. Maybe. But I'm thinking about the collective almost 3 million subscribers that these two girls have between them, and it's just heartbreaking. And it should lead to some very serious conversations about the wisdom of following people on YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't think 14-year-olds are going to be having those conversations, so it's on the individual YouTubers, and like, pardon me while I hold my breath for that one. So on that note, I'm going to go whip up the most nutrient-dense lunch I can imagine and take my omega-3 and B12 supplement. That's lunch. A bed of kale, black beans, red cabbage, tomatoes, sunflower seeds, and then we had, like, what are they, nacho fries last night for dinner. So good. So I made some cheese, which is the same cheese that we use in our mac and cheese recipe video, that'll be down below in the description. And then I'm gonna put just a little bit of the sweet chili sauce on top. This is the brand that I have at the moment. I really like the Ginger People brand, but like, let's just be honest about this. It's sweetened goo water with some peppers in it, so it's not like there's a healthy brand. And I just use maybe like half a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon if we're being realistic, of this stuff, just a little bit on top to help that kale go down. So this will be it for lunch. I do have to work outside of the house today, so I have to leave in a minute. But before I go, the final thing that I want to address about all of these YouTubers that are deciding to make huge changes to their diet is that veganism isn't about a diet. It's not a freaking fad. I mean, at least it's not to me. I know that nowadays I don't talk that much about the ethical principles that are behind my diet, but strongly, it's, you know, this is the kindest way to eat. This is the way that inflicts the least amount of pain on other beings. This is the type of diet that uses the fewest amount of resources, especially if you do your best to eat local foods and support your local small-scale organic growers. And if we're gonna be realistic and truthful, there is no way to kill someone to eat their bodies in a way that is kind or humane. I don't care what bullshit labels you put on it, free range, grass-fed. It's just not necessary. And if it's not necessary, then why would we do it? It just boggles my mind that there's so much selfishness and narcissism that has gotten into the vegan movement. It's interesting. But I hope those of you who don't film yourself on a regular basis are in it for different reasons. Okay? Okay. So next time I see you guys, dinner is going to be ready and it is going to be good. I'm on my way to an appointment and then the gym and then the store. I'll see you guys for dinner. It's like sweet potato, tomato, black pepper all at the same time. It's so good. It is dinner time and I made the yummiest stir fry I've been making. Gosh, how many times have I made this stir fry? Like at least 10 times in the last few weeks. It's so good. Don't touch my peas. In addition to the stir fry, get away from my food. In addition to the stir fry, I made some orange sweet potatoes that are kind of hiding under there. Cut those guys open, filled them with chickpeas. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of seaweed, probably like 1/16 teaspoon of kelp powder to get my iodine for the day. And then a very unceremonious looking blob of tahini, black tahini. Oh, the black pepper got me. Ow, ooh. I imploded sneezed. I did it on accident.
Now hold this. Go get yourself fixed.
No. The black tahini has tons of calcium and iron and other goodness in it. I think that's gonna just about do me for dinner. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been an informative and helpful video for you guys. I know this has been a tumultuous few months for our community, But we're gonna be stronger for it because I have a feeling that this is really going to galvanize us against putting water hoses up our asses and refusing to eat real food. So I talked to you about this, don't look confused. So I hope you guys are ready to do that and ready to succeed on a vegan / plant-based / whole plant food diet, whatever you want to call it, a compassionate, kind, healthy, sustainable, ethical, environmentally friendly diet. That's what we're doing. As always, make better choices for yourself so that you can be sustained on the type of kind lifestyle that you are trying to achieve. And as always, take really, really good care. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. You want to say bye? Don't throw chickpeas.
Want to make it land on your plate?
What are you trying?
Hey.
You got it.
Hey.
Ow! Stop. Ouch!
Oh.
Pelting me. Oh my god.
Oh. Gotta get down.
You guys remember this next time you're like, oh, Lily, you're so controlling. This is what happens. This is what it's like. Stop it.
Calling my name right now. I need you to step back on this one, okay?
I'm over here.
Music.
Oh.
Is it recording now?